Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
MJ in the house.
It's Thursday night. It's 10 o'clock. You know what that means, baby. It's Thirsty Thursday. Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty is next. Salute.
Yeah.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store.
Check it out.
Support Wrestling Insiders and keep wrestling legends working on eBay. Get this WWE NXT TakeOver War Games 2020 11x14 limited edition autograph poster signed by everyone on the event, number 23 of only 100 made. Includes signatures from the Undisputed Era, Johnny Gargano, Damian Priest, Tommaso Ciampa, Timothy Thatcher, Io Shirai, Tony Storm, Rhea Ripley, Dexter, Loomis, and more. Comes with authentication hologram on the back of the poster. Also comes with mystery autographed 8x10 and an on-air shout-out from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas on Wrestling Insiders at your house. Get it now.
Boston wrestling sports and the MWF explodes into a new year of unknown with professional wrestling content galore, and we need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after we review the previous night's Monday Night Raw, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with the unpredictable WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights after WWE, NXT, and AEW at 10 p.m., you never know who's going to show up on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's No Holds Barred Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll journey through the 80s and 90s on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday nights after the lights go down at the Thunderdome on SmackDown, it's John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. If you want early, ad-free access to all of our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and to help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times, for less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
But you want to know something?
We're going to.
I'm still going to surprise you, even though we're taping this in
Surprise
November.
me every day.
Well, hopefully in better ways than recently, but that's a different story for a different time. The story of the day is, though, baby, the road to WrestleMania has begun for WWE as they try and figure out where WrestleMania 37 is going to take place. If fans are going to be allowed in, that's a different story.
I was just going to ask you that.
What's that?
Do I need to wear, is Kobe still around now?
It's at your discretion.
What month is this?
This is February the 25th.
It's probably gone because Biden's
All right.
in. They're going to make him look good.
All right. Yeah, well, it's.
So I can probably take this off.
All right. Hopefully he's not too sleepy. Hopefully he's wide awake and doing a great job
Sleepy Joe?
leading and guiding our country.
Kamala, is probably in charge by now.
You think Kamala's wearing the pants in the family?
She always was.
All right.
You know, she dated
You'd have to ask
Montel. What was
Montel.
that?
Yeah, Montel Williams.
She looked good back then. I mean, she looks good now for
I think
for a Democrat.
Well, I really don't judge them that way, but she's no Amy Klobuchar from Minnesota, that's for sure.
I heard she was a hoe.
Amy Klobuchar
That's
was
what
a
I
hoe?
heard. I mean, I don't know. I ain't never been there.
I
lived in Minneapolis, but she wasn't around that time.
It's not one I'd have much interest in.
You know what? As much as everybody hates to look at Nancy Pelosi, the next time you see her, I wonder if she's still Speaker of the House at this date.
Well, we'll see.
Because they don't see her then.
Now, you're trying to say that Nancy is a piece of ass?
No, I was going to say.
All right. I thought that's where you were going with that.
No, I was going to say she got some big ass titties. She's like 70 something.
She's pushing 80. I think so. I think she's pushing 80.
When you got money in government, you can keep you young looking.
Well, they're not sagging
don't you
too
know
much.
those things are this big? Don't you know when she takes that bra off? Her knees go, ah, damn.
That support bra's got a little extra support for old Nancy.
There's got to
but
have reinforcement.
there you go. All right, wrestling fans, we're talking about a big one. It was April of 1989. The World Wrestling Federation invaded Trump Plaza in Atlantic City, New Jersey for the second year in a row. It was sold out for a $1.7 million gate. One of the
Is that
great.
how much it was?
$1.7 million in '89.
And I only got 1,000.
No.
What? That was number 5, right?
Yeah.
What did I get?
You had to have got a better
I got
payoff.
I got $5 grand.
$5 for that one?
Yeah. And they got what?
$1.7 million for the gate.
Because, is that net or gross?
Gross.
That's what they grossed. So they still netted about $100
Oh, I'm
million.
sure. I'm sure. I'm sure Hulk and Macho walked off with very handsome paydays for that one.
Well,
but
they deserved it. They drew it.
I got to ask you this. What happened the night before WrestleMania 5? Shawn Michaels gets into the fight with the wife. You two go out
How
and
do you
hit
remember that? I told you that before, didn't I?
No, it wasn't you. It was another. It was one of your peers at the time.
I got tears.
Peers.
I know.
He gets in a fight with the wife. You guys go out drinking until 4 o'clock in the morning. And then it was told by this individual that Shawn apparently needed extreme substances to be able to participate in the match where you and
Against
Shawn took on
Twin
Ray
Towers.
Traylor and George Gray, the Twin Towers.
What's his name? George. I knew it was George.
George Gray.
Gray?
Yes.
I knew it was George. I
Hakeem
know.
and the Big Boss
Yeah.
Man. So what happened the night before Mania?
We were nervous.
Yeah. So were you there when Shawn got into the fight with the wife?
No, we met downstairs because I had, previous to that part, I was downstairs with my girl. And,
Now this is a girlfriend.
Yeah, Raylyn, that's who I was sitting on. We lived together for like 6 years.
Oh, wow. Oh, really? 6
The right
years?
girl, just the wrong timing. You know,
Yeah.
I was a small town boy that, you know, only been with maybe a couple dozen, 3 dozen girls. Because Columbus wasn't that big.
So
Columbus was-
you're down enjoying the casino life.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Shawn
I was
is with
drifting again.
and
wasn't I?
Shawn is with his wife, and they get into an argument.
Well, see, I didn't see the argument.
Yeah.
I was with Raylyn. That's when I first met Trump. Well, we met him earlier that day for a photo op. And, you know, at that time, he was a casino owner. And
Right.
we met all kinds of people.
You didn't know he'd become the president.
Yeah, I didn't know how it was just a casino. And he's the nicest guy in the world. That's why the facade he puts on now, it's not for us, it's for the other countries. But it's like a damn, who told me? My cat told me, the wolf.
Yeah.
He said, Biden, you trying to convince Biden people, you know, supporters, is like trying a bumblebee or a bee, honeybee, a bee trying to explain to a fly why honey's better than shit. They're not going to stand it.
That's one way to word it, yeah.
Yeah, but so, you know, Trump come over. I told you, I said this on another episode, earlier episode. Yeah, he come over and he's smiling. Hey, Marty, as he walks up, me and Raylyn, you know, right there together. And I was like kind of surprised, like, because he had said he was a big fan, and I thought he was just, you know, you say
Working
that.
you, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
but
being
when he
polite
I was
and
like,
friendly.
well, damn, that's pretty cool. The guy does know me. And he said, how you doing? I said, I'm doing good. How you doing? He goes, no, I mean, you know, around here. And he was so soft-spoken, too. I mean, he was like almost whispering. He's soft-spoken, unlike on TV now, right?
Yeah, right.
And, you know, like, oh, you know, win some, lose some. You know, I'm pretty much even. And he looked over the craps table where we just walked away from. He says, give him a 500 marker. And I didn't know what that was. And,
Yeah,
you know,
we got a Sharpie right here.
Oh, yeah. Give me that.
Got a marker?
You know, I showered. Yeah, I showered last night because I got it written on here to stop mumbling.
I don't think you need to write it again, though.
But I showered, and it's
And you
still.
washed a little of it off?
And I used this,
Oh,
and it's still somewhat there.
good.
But
Well, at
I'm
least
still-
it's a quality pen, we know.
But I'm still mumbling.
All right, you're not mumbling. So,
I'm
all
write
right,
it on here.
take us back to that.
But so
You get your $500 marker, you're gambling on the Donald, which was very generous of the man. Shawn gets into this fight, 4 a.m. he comes down and finds you, or I don't know, what,
yeah,
how
me
you
and
guys
Raylyn
hooked
were
up.
going back to our room. We were on the same floor,
Uh-huh.
whatever it was. It says no mumbling.
Collector's item.
Just, yeah, yeah. Let's sell this tonight or last week. So we're on the same floor.
Yeah.
And Shawn's come storming out his room, and I'm walking back with Raylyn, and he was like, I'm like, where are you going? He goes, fuck you, you know, he's all mad. I'm like, what's going on? Fuck Teresa. Her name was Teresa. Fucking Teresa started some shit or something. I don't remember exactly what was said, But I said, where you going? And he goes, I'm going downstairs to drink. And I looked at Ray and I was like, fuck you, get in the room. I had to make something up so I could go. But she didn't mind. She, you know, me and Sean were like brothers, you know. And I got to I got to go with him. So we went down there and drank till, I don't know if it was 4 in the morning, but it was a long time. I can't even spell no more.
So it was a late night in Atlantic City with you and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, and then and the next day we were hungover, bad. But which was not an unusual thing.
So it's the biggest day of the year for the company.
Yes, our first.
Your
that was our
first
first WrestleMania.
and
Like
you're
that's like
hungover.
the Super Bowl.
How do you prepare to go to?
This might not be vodka.
How did you prepare to
Man, I wrote on my leg.
Akeem and Boss Man?
Well, that was
day?
the thing. We were nervous to death because you got 6'6", 6'7", 375. I stopped mumbling, so I put my hand in front of my face. Damn. Now I got to make another note. No hands. but we were scared, man, because it was our first WrestleMania. It's like we made it. WrestleMania, we made it. And our family and our friends, you know, we're thinking they're going to get to see us. And we
Did your
never
friends
were
and
told
family
till
come
the
into
night
the
before.
show?
Huh?
Did your friends and family come in for the show?
Nah.
Oh, so they were going to watch on
On
pay-per-view.
TV, yeah.
Yep.
But that's your big moment.
Yeah.
You've made it. WrestleMania, you've made it. I'm sorry about my Bluetooth coming apart. Every week I say next week I'm getting it. Next week I am getting it though. 2 weeks from now. Next week's the surgery. That happened.
Back in November.
Yeah. Damn, we do a lot of these.
We do.
But I forgot.
So the
what-
next day, so what happened? So it's
So
WrestleMania
we were scared
Sunday.
to death because, you know, they didn't tell us. A lot of times back then you didn't do what they began to do. Here's another one of them teeth in here. They didn't do what they do. Now you go around 3 or 4 or 5 times to get the match down pat, then go to the show with it. Back then, no. You didn't know who he's working with sometimes. So the day before. And here we
Well,
are.
they advertised you and Akeem and the Boss Man ahead of time.
Did they?
It was advertised on television, yeah.
Oh, they didn't tell us shit. We were probably drinking too hard. but when we found out, like the day before, we panicked. Like, here's our Super Bowl, and then here comes the New York Giants, and here's a little high school team. That would be the high school team. What are we gonna do? Shit, the biggest guys in the company, 6'6", 6'7", 350, 375 pounds, and 5'11" and 6 foot tall, 220 pounds. What are we gonna do with them? How are we gonna make this a competitive, a good show? And so we were scared, and we did what we did when we got scared. We threw a few drinks down, and
Any
usually
medicine?
when you're hungover,
Medicine?
I don't think we did medicine that night. I think we just drank.
I was told by at least Sean, we had to indulge quite a bit to be
That
able
was
to
WrestleMania 7.
go. Or maybe they had the ears messed up. All right, so I thought that was 5. But so you were hungover WrestleMania.
Yeah, and
you're
the good
preparing
thing-
for Boss Man and Akeem.
Yeah, and the
so take us from there.
Okay, so the best thing about having a hangover the next morning, because TV days, you got it, back then you had to be there by 1 o'clock. They want you there at noon, but you know, if you're later than 1, that's when them fines come out. But that's a long ass day, because you're going to be doing interviews and promos and pictures and all this crap all day. And then come 7 o'clock, they start what they call the dark matches, you know, where they have matches that aren't for the show, but it's to start warming up the crowd, which to me sucked because time to get there, because with regular TV taping, it's not a pay-per-view, but regular, they do back then. I don't know what they do now. I ain't been there in a while. Back then, we do 3 weeks worth in one night. So you got week 1, week 2, week 3, and you got the big chalkboard, you go see where you're at. Like, oh, we're on week 2. Oh, we're on week 1 and 3. But you find out where you're at. But they would start with the warm-up hour. You know, it'd be new guys or some new guys.
Tryouts and...
Yeah, and so the crowd is seeing that. Time you get to that 3rd hour, which is going to show 3 weeks somewhat like what we do, it's going to show way later. But the crowd is like this. You're
just waiting for those advertised main events.
Yeah, the main event is going to be the last ones, and that's what they came for. That's what they paid for. And they've already seen 4 hours of wrestling, or 3 hours. They saw the dark matches, Well, they called it dark because they didn't put it on TV.
And sometimes there'd be matches they'd tape for All-American, 1 or 2 matches. Sometimes they'd tape a couple for primetime wrestling. So it wasn't always just 3 weeks of superstars and 3 weeks of challenge.
It was so much to that last hour. I mean, and then they came back alive for the main event, like Hulk versus Warrior or whatever.
They'd give loaded main events, yeah. They wouldn't go very long, but they'd still they'd give the advertised match. But for those fans that aren't familiar with it, those TV tapings back in the 80s into probably up until 95 or so, sometimes you'd have upwards of 30 matches in one night.
More than that, actually. Yeah, because they would have the numbers, match 1, 2, 3. You had the hours, divided, first hour, second hour, third, but they had them numbered. When they went to the second hour, they had it numbered. So if you were match 12, you always want to start warming up around 9 or 10, a few matches at a time. And so you would see what number you are. You really didn't worry about the hours, what number are you, And oh my God, like I said, especially if it was already a hard town. When what I mean by that, the crowd was hard. You had to do a lot to impress them. Because we say they're sitting on their hands tonight, because they're not clapping, they're not doing anything. And if they start that way, and you give them 3 hours, and a lot of times
some squash matches.
The time you get out there on that third hour, they ain't doing shit. They ain't doing. That's when they started piping in the sound.
Yeah.
They did what they did.
Sweetening it up.
Yeah. They would. Mean Gene would go out there. Guys, let's really let them know what we think about them. We love wrestling, and have them all. Yeah. He goes, what do y'all think? We want to know what you think of Jesse Ventura, and get them all boo.
Yeah.
And they record that and play it during the matches.
It's very smart.
Yeah, it's very smart. Everything they do is smart. That's just like all the flashes you see going on.
Yeah, a lot of them were on the lighting grid.
Yeah, there was a circular around there with a little bulb, pop, 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 pop. It ain't cameras. But
smart business.
Yes, very, very, very.
So WrestleMania 5 now, back to that event. You're a keen big boss man, you're hungover.
The good thing about a hangover, and some of y'all ever had a hangover might know this. When you're hurting that bad, you don't give a shit about anything else. It's just like, oh my God. Hey man, the car won't start, fuck it, we'll walk. Something like that. And so we wasn't so scared, and then we, got together with them and talked some things over, and the more we talked it over, it was like, this could work. And it ended up being pretty decent. We ended up having a good match. But then we did that double drop kick, which we only came up with it that day. We thought
that was a good spot.
Well, we were thinking of double drop kicking them from the ground, but we had done that to so many guys that we thought, these are monsters. We got to make it look like they're monsters. Well, if we go to the top rope and do a double drop kick from the top rope, well, you got the time that good. We did it a few times, but that was the only time we did it on TV. And I've seen anybody else do that. I've seen a lot of moves replicated and duplicated and imitated, but never, or duplicated, I guess was the word. I mean, never duplicated. Because you got to time it so good. It's not that you can't jump to the middle of the ring, both of you. we jump past that, but you got to get there at the same time. Because if one gets there and the guy goes down, the other one's going to be shooting by. And I've seen that. I have seen people try it, and that's what happened. One gets there, the other one sails over. And then you got to sell it. You were given a drop kick, now you got to sell it. You were given the move. But I thought it went pretty good. You saw it?
Oh, yeah.
You thought it was all right?
Yeah. I thought it was actually one of the better matches on the show.
I didn't say it much.
That was a boring show.
Yeah.
That was one of the worst. Both of the WrestleManias
Trump
in Atlantic City were terrible. Terrible shows.
He's got gat.
Well, his WrestleMania shows did. But,
yeah, he did a couple of them. That was the only one I was on.
Well, they did 4 and 5 at Trump Plaza.
4 was there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what was the prep like? What was it like to interact with Boss Man and Akeem and trying to put the match together? Did they have any ideas they liked? Did they have any ideas
we
of their
didn't know
own?
him that well.
Yeah.
I knew a gang from Mid-South. I'd been down there and met him when he one-man gang, And I think he came in as one-man gang.
He did, yeah. And then they
changed
him into the African Dream. Yeah.
Well, at first he hated that, but then he started having fun with it. He'd come out and do it, and he's like, shit, I'm just cutting up out there. He found a way. It's always the way you internalize something, You internalize it to itself that, hey, man, I'm just out there playing. I ain't serious at all. And he was able to do it, it became comical. But But they were good to it. They were good. I mean, we were scared to death, because like I said, we're looking like we'll shoot you in, and I guess give us a tackle. I mean, what are we going to do with y'all big asses? But they suggested a couple of things, and we realized when they did that, oh, okay, they don't want to just come in and pummel us, because they were new as a team. They've
Right,
been
yeah.
around,
Yeah.
but they were new as a team.
Yeah, they just put them together in late '88
Yeah.
to work with Hogan and Macho.
Yeah. Oh, is that right? God dang, you're an encyclopedia. But who's that to the right? Real quick.
My glasses aren't on. I can't see.
She's cute. But there's a TV over here with WWE Network. But anyway, what were we saying?
Akeem and Boss Man.
Yeah, they were nice. They suggested a couple things that let Sean and I know, like, okay, they're not coming in as a new team. Like, let's just squash out the Rockers. And yeah, but we was able to. Hey, what if we did that? You know, everybody's together on it. Because there's sometimes you get together. A lot of the boys out there will know this. You can tell, kind of right off when you try to set a match up. The ones that really ain't into it, like, nah, I don't like that shit, because they're kind of quiet. They don't say much. And they don't even say, yeah, they just kind of don't say nothing. They might nod their head, you know, but you know, okay, they're not into it. They're not getting it. Or they don't want to do it. One or the other. And then you got to figure out how to get on the same page. They're on a different page. They think they're squashing us. We think they're not, you know, and so, you know, those are always difficult. As you get more experience, you learn how to work with that too. You know, sometimes you have to stroke their egos, you know.
Were you disappointed that you wound up working with the Twin Towers? Out of all the teams there possibly could have been for that
Well,
WrestleMania,
at
would
first,
you like
yeah.
to have gone in with Arn and Tully at Mania?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, we were disappointed because here's our big damn Super Bowl World Series. Here it is. And we're going to look like idiots. Because we were thinking that we're going to squash jobbers. We're going to go out there, these big guys who's just scam, bam, bam, pin. And thank God that was with the right ankle. But it was just, you know, they were so nice. Both of them are nice guys. You know, Ray, God bless the rest of his soul. What'd you call him, Gary?
George Gray.
Gray, the Gray, that's the part I was trying to remember. Gray, not Gary. But they're both such nice guys. Such nice guys. And, you know, we didn't know that until we actually sat and talked with him. I knew Gang, like I said, Mid-South, knew he was a nice guy. But, you know, he was a correction officer?
Yeah.
Or a prison guard, one or the other.
He stole Boss Man's gimmick.
Yeah, he had it before. Ray was actually did something.
He did it too?
In
For in real
Atlanta.
life? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe that's why they put them together.
Yeah.
I think it was the size thing.
Sure.
What they call them, Twin Towers?
The Twin Towers, yeah.
But I mean, it was cool. We felt better about it after we sat and talked with them and put the match together. But then we was like, are we going? You know what? And a lot of my, I've taught this to my kids in seminars. Sometimes when you put one move in that's tricky, like we put the double drop kicks in, it messes you up for the whole match, because no matter what you're doing, you're thinking of that one. When that's coming, it's like, okay, shit, are we going to be able to get that? We're going to be able to get, because, you know, it's risk. You know, big rewards come with big risk, you know, but there's a risk it may not work, you know, so you're always thinking about, you're always thinking ahead of that spot, like, okay, whatever you're doing right here is just kind of autopilot, because you're thinking of that spot, you know, and that's when you screw up, is when you're on autopilot. You know, you think you got this part down, don't worry about it. You know, it's like catching the football or an orange. You know, you're looking and you turn your head at the last second to see who's coming or what move you want to make. And then the ball hits and bounces out, because you're supposed to look it all the way through. It's sort of the same thing with wrestling. Every spot has got to be seen through. You know, you don't look like, I got an arm drag, hip toss, slam. I got all that shit. It's that double drop kick. But, it went well. We almost, one of us, I don't know, one of us kind of, like I told you, if one gets there too soon,
Yeah.
we almost, one of us was lucky enough to scrape across his face. So we did get him, but still almost over. And we had such good, we synchronized so good, like we'd look and give the nod and the bounce, because the ropes, you know, the turnbuckle, the ropes, and when you're on top and you bounce down, it gives. So it's almost like a springboard. You know, you got to, and when there's two people on it, it bounces different.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to time that out and jump at the same time. It's got to be precision timing. But it worked out, and you know, we still got beat. We hated that. You know, it's like, damn, did we ever get to win? We're probably one of the better tag teams here. At the time, becoming the most popular tag team there, but we never win. And you know, we complain so much about we never get the belt. You know, we're never going to get the belt. All we're going to do is chase it, chase it, chase it, chase it. And we just went through a year of that in AWA with Buddy Rose and Doug Summers. We chased them for a year, and finally we got it. You know, and it was a big deal until we left, went to WWF. But it was the same thing there. It was like, we got to go through this again, chase.
Well, you had a babyface tag team champions at that time, so that didn't help.
Again, Roddy Piper told us something.
Now, funny enough, Roddy Piper made his return to the company after 2 years that very night. But
was it?
yeah,
that
he did the segment
5?
with Morton Downey Jr. and Brother Love.
Was that 5?
Yeah.
Wow, I thought that was later on.
No?
I'll be damned.
Did you interact with Morton Downey Jr. at all?
No, I never got to see him. I would have liked to. I used to watch his show.
Yeah, one of the most popular talk show hosts at the time. He did a couple of wrestling segments.
Yeah,
but
I missed him.
Did you meet Roddy Piper that night when he came back?
Yeah, we were upset a little bit.
Why?
Well, because we were going to be, you know, we're losing our big Super Bowl, and we got to lose, and we never get to win the house shows either. And we never got to be, you know, champions. And Roddy was very sharp. He picked up on stuff. And he took a liking to us, which was good because he was brilliant, man, brilliant. With the psychology, he's up there. He might be up there with Vince.
Really?
The only person I put above Vince on psychology is Jake the Snake.
Wow.
Yeah. Macho's up there. Those guys are high up the ladder there. But, you know, so we always soak in what they say. And, you know, Roddy told us, he said, the reason you guys don't get the belt is almost you're getting punished for being so good. And we're like, we didn't get it at first. You know, we were still young. You know, we were still maybe 3 years in the business, 2.5, whatever. But we were like, don't get it. What do you mean? I mean, why we don't get the belt because we're getting punished? And he goes, no. You know how he talks. No. He goes, that's not it. Let me tell you what it is. You guys are so good, you don't need a belt to get over. Where some guys need a belt.
Needed the belts.
Yeah. And so that made sense. So it made it.
Compliment to some degree.
Yeah. But you still
want them, yeah.
But you know, it might have shortened our run because once you reach the top, where you go.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
And you met the Hot Rod for the first time. Any interesting first impression of the man?
Initial thing was like I said, him always giving us good advice. And you know, I'd watched him. He's one I watched since I was like 16 or 17 years old, when he was first in NWA or Georgia Championship Wrestling. You know, whatever they were showing in Columbus, Georgia at the time, it was either Georgia Championship or NWA, whatever it was. You know, but first time I ever seen him, he did something and he took a bottle like this.
Yeah.
By the way, this Fabo,
Fabo Pop.
I still can't get it right. Paramount. No. Patreon. I'm going to get these words right. This is very good root beer. All of his products, all of them are good.
All of the flavors are delicious.
Yes. I just had a root beer last week on here, and I was amazed how good it was.
Well, he only puts out the best.
Yep.
It's all about the quality, just like his piece.
Like his what?
His piece.
Piece?
Yeah.
What's that?
You know, the Thunderdome.
Oh.
What about the big man? Oh, I'm sorry.
But he came out and he had like a beer bottle over his head.
Oh, yeah, and he busted himself
that?
open. Yep. I think he did that in Portland. Did he do it in Georgia, too?
Yes, he did in Georgia.
Oh, he repeated
But we
the
heard
angle.
about it from Ron Ritchie. I know nobody's going to know that name, but Ron Ritchie was a great athlete. He outdid us on the party.
Really?
Yeah, he did too much, and he just became brain dead. What a great athlete. And, man, he was over. The people loved him. But he just couldn't stay away from the Quaaludes and not necessarily the medicine, but that was involved once in a while. But mainly he was a pill man, like the Quaaludes and shit. They'd just get him like this. I remember one time, what's the ones that Placidils? You know, the jail ones?
Yeah.
Why do you know that?
I'm just After 27 years of doing this, I've become familiar.
Plus the deals, so, they're jail things. And boy, did you take one, you're good. Like, hey, shit. You take two, you're gonna be laying on the floor doing that. Everybody's like, get up, like, this is good.
You're content with life.
Yeah, but you bite, and when you bite them, instead of just swallowing them, you bite them, and they get to jail right away. It hits you almost immediately.
Quick.
Yeah, and old Buzz Sawyer, remember Buzz Sawyer?
Yeah.
Buzz Sawyer we was at the club, Capri. It wasn't a club necessarily, but it was a hotel bar, where everybody knew that the wrestlers would be, and the wrestlers were living there because they had like a weekly rate and a monthly rate.
Oh, okay.
So if you were going to be there only a few months.
Yeah.
It was
a good place to go, yeah.
It was great because they clean your room, you got a phone, everything.
It's like home, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like having a maid.
Yep. And some of the maids look good there. They're called housekeeping now, though.
Oh, they're not maids any longer?
I met one last night at the
Yeah, what was her name?
I'm not sure. Jane?
Jane.
Yeah.
Well.
Her last name was Fonda.
Oh, really?
But so that's the inside.
fondled.
Yeah, it's Fonda. That's it. There was the inside on that one. That might have come
Like a
off
hatchet to a tomato.
Yeah, man. Some of them girls can do it.
Poor Ted. Ted must have really laid it in. I don't know.
Well, I got to tell you a bad story.
All right, what do we got?
But we're skipping around now.
That's all right.
The first time I met DiBiase, you talking about?
No, I was talking about Ted Turner.
Oh, he told you back on her again. Man, stop. Where was we at, Matt Daddy? We got to get back on subject. Well, you're supposed to be reeling me in.
How about this? Any memories of one of the big matches in company history? Hogan and Macho Man with Miss Elizabeth at ringside, torn between the two men.
We talked about that in the episode, remember?
Well, you talked about leading
the
up to the show. Yeah, leading up to the show, there was some issues between the two in the locker room. But day of the show, anything?
Well, it was because of the match.
They had a great match.
Like you said about picking up Elizabeth and moving her. Randy had felt like got too close to her boobs.
I thought
where you gonna pick her up? Her ass? Then you're too close to her ass.
I thought it was amusing when
pick her up by her head.
When Elizabeth entered the arena, Pat Patterson was behind her with his arms out. I guess Randy trusted Patterson to behave himself with Elizabeth.
Yeah, Pat ain't gonna mess with a girl.
No, he's gonna I just remember thinking that was funny, that the way Patterson kind of walked her out with his arms at her side. Elizabeth was always well protected. I remember at the old shows I'd go to at the Boston Garden, there might be 12 cops around her and Randy when they come out to the ring to protect her from the crazy fanatical fans. But any memories of the main event that night? No, it was a good match. Any memories of the show in general other than your match?
You're talking about WrestleMania 6?
WrestleMania 5 and AC.
Yes. No, a big time memory.
Well, what do we got?
Okay, first of all, it's WrestleMania. Second of all, we got the it's the first time we're on a national stage that it's a big deal.
The big one.
Yes, and your family, your friends, and we're sitting behind the curtains. The big guys have gone out. We're sitting there waiting for our music to hit. And I've told this story. Some of y'all gonna know this already. But it's your big moment, the biggest in life to that point. There's been some bigger ones since, but at that point, nothing gets better than that. Music hits. You hit the curtains out of the way, go charging down the long ass ramp. It was like about 40 or 50 feet. It was a long ramp. And we always ran, so shit, we're going to get tired.
And they were kind of tiered steps, too.
Well, there was one step. It was all the way down.
Yeah.
And one step, halfway down. Now, I'm behind Sean, and the fans are all reaching over the railing, grabbing and shit, so I can barely see anything. And I got this right here. I'm running. I got to squat so I don't get out of frame. And I'm running down behind Sean, and there's that one step I didn't see it. And I reached down like, and I fell over, and I'm trying not to fall down, and I'm reaching up when I grab Sean by his tights to keep from falling, and to pull it down. His ass is partially hanging out. And he thinks I'm playing. Stop playing. Stop playing. He's knocking my hand off.
I'll have to go back and watch that.
And life's most embarrassing moment. That was it.
At WrestleMania,
yeah. Couldn't be a bigger stage. And when it originally happened, everybody, you don't know what happened. You can just see me and him bouncing like this is head level of the crowd. You see us going, and all of a sudden I'm gone, and then I'm back up. They don't know that I fell. But I think they cut it out on the video since.
Oh, really?
But a lot of people didn't see it. They go, "What was that?" I was like, I didn't fall. I grabbed, it was so funny because I had to tell Sean later because he thought I was fucking with him, like, pulling his pants down, going to the ring for WrestleMania. No, brother, I was trying not to fall. But that's my biggest memory. And now we got to get in the ring with the Giants. Yeah, I think after that, I wasn't worried about the ring. I already made an ass of myself.
Would you bother to watch the rest of the show after your match, or would you go back to the hotel?
I think I didn't watch the rest. I think I was relieved that everything went good. We survived. And plus, like I said, life's most embarrassing moment. What time we got?
Time-wise, we're at about 4 o'clock.
Here?
Yeah.
Where are we? Boston?
We're in Boston.
Oh, yeah. So
you didn't really have an interest in the rest of the show.
It's not that. It was such a relief.
You were.
I think we went home and watched it. On
back at the hotel.
Yeah. But we were just so relieved because man, for 48 hours we were stressing that match, and then to start it off, I'm falling down in front of like millions of people, right? And millions of people watching that, and I can't even damn jog to the ring, right? But Kurt Hennig even got mad about it. He goes, "Why didn't somebody tell us? It's one step." And think about that. Why is there one step down in a 40 or 50 foot ramp? I mean, not ramp, but flooring, the wood flooring and stuff. And for no reason, 30 feet in, one step down. And that's it. Just one damn step. I think that was put there on purpose to fuck me up.
Well, also on that show, you saw the return of the first time since you talk about a wrestling scandal. It was the return of Superfly Jimmy Snuka.
Was it? That was the...
You remember of kind of an aging Jimmy Snuka at that point as he returned to the company after his...
Well, we'd met him in AWA.
Okay, so you already knew Jimmy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was happy because I love Jimmy.
Yeah, good man.
So much
he headlined our first event back in 2001. He was one of the featured stars.
Is that right?
Yep.
This Flomax right here.
And you want to know something funny about Jimmy?
You heard Flomax?
I thought the last time we used him was the weekend of Paul Bearer's funeral.
Oh, really?
With that, yep.
He was still going?
He didn't work. No, we did a Jimmy
okay.
Snuka appreciation night. And he was so clear-minded. He was so, do you really need a break?
Yep.
Well, Jimmy did, at the end of his life, before his cancer and whatnot took over and he had those legal problems, he was in a good place, which I was happy about. Because I'd known him since the Tony Rumble days of the 90s. Right now, wrestling fans, we're going to take a quick time out, then we'll be back to wrap up the show. Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Marati.
And this is the man of the hour, Leo Rush.
It's all over BostonWrestling.com and our social media. But Leo, brother, they got to check out some of this merch.
They got to.
Check it out, fans, right now available on eBay.
Support Wrestling Insiders and keep wrestling legends working on eBay. Get this limited edition Bailey autographed Rob Schamberger outprint, one of only 50 made. A great addition to the collection of any Bailey fan, direct from WWE. Also comes with a mystery autograph photo and an on-air shout-out from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas on Wrestling Insiders at your house. Get it now.
Boston wrestling sports in the MWF explodes into a new year with professional wrestling content galore and need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after our Monday Night Raw review, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. after NXT and AEW, join rotating legends on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's No Holds Barred Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll Journey on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday night after SmackDown, don't miss John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, history videos, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, get early ad-free access to our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times. Join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome back. I can't keep you away from the Fabo Pop.
That's pretty good.
The wrestling fans keep typing in, Johnny, when is the soda going to be available? I guess the problem is they can't manufacture much of it right now because of everything that's going on in the Corona world. But once it is available, we're going to promote it. I know Marty and I, we've discussed a great...
it's good. I liked it. I
Well, we've discussed...
Cherry. What was the red one that was here? That you
cherry.
You spilled one of them.
I spilled.
Oh, was it me?
Yeah.
But I thought that was good. But the root beer is unbelievable.
Well,
and there's other flavors, right?
Tony has his artwork. Johnny has his soda pop. With Marty, we're working on making, and forget about cameo
I got my
videos.
hose.
Forget about cameo videos with a cell phone. We're talking about making nice in-studio personalized videos and maybe even some Party with Marty t-shirts.
That'd be good.
I think they'd be really cool.
I'd buy one.
You get a free one.
Oh, do I get it? Take this off.
You
It's
can
getting
charge
hot.
me.
You never did finish cutting my hair last week.
I'm no Ed Leslie. All right, back to talking a little bit about WrestleMania 5. Is it true that Randy Savage and Elizabeth got a legal separation just to try and make that angle with Hogan that much more legitimate?
That I wouldn't know. I don't
You
want to speak on
didn't hear
something I
about
don't
that
know.
time. But I think if true, talk about going to great lengths to make the angle real.
Well, some guys would do that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I was willing to cut a finger off for an angle one time.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, what I need an extra finger for?
What
You
angle?
know,
was-
like one of them chopped, like I think it's a paper slicer. You
Yeah.
know that thing that you.
Who were you going to do that for?
I can't remember. It was way back in about year 4 or 5 of my career.
In WWF?
Yeah.
You were going to.
Well, yeah, I thought, because, you know, there was so much going on that I thought, how are you really going to separate yourself from all the other shit going on? And I thought, well, you know, something like that, I don't care, man. I mean, my dad did fine. He had one chopped off from whatever reason. I don't want to get into that. I always get sad when I talk about my dad because he's gone, you know. But he had this one was gone. And he got along fine, so I thought, what the hell? So what? Chop it off, and I think that's going to be talked about for a long time. You know what?
They'd still be talking about it now.
Outrageous stuff like the barbershop. That's been talked about. You know, that accidental death thing is like, if you look at the attention. Chattahoochee River, you know. You know,
The vacation capital of Georgia.
But do they work? Did they get attention? Yeah, I get called a murderer now for some stupid ass
Well,
reason.
we don't even want to go there. You know my feelings on that. But
Yeah, you might
another
as well.
WrestleMania 5 moment was Ultimate Warrior and Rick Rude for the Intercontinental title. A rare job for the Warrior in that match. Afterwards, Warrior gave Bobby Heenan the press slam and was very, very, very unprotective of Bobby, just dropping him like he was a piece of garbage.
I don't want to say it, you know, because I liked Warrior, you know, God rest his soul. I liked him a lot, but he was clumsy as shit in the ring. I never worked him, but I heard, you know, from all the guys. He's just, well, you know, him and Rick Rude got into it. You know about that, right? I told you. May not have told y'all. When I say
vaguely.
when I say they got into it, Warrior was just, you know, a bull in a china shop. Wham, bam, bam, boom, bam. If he hurt you, so what? He's trying to get over. Well, Rick Rude was the wrong one to do that with. And when they first started working each other, they had a couple matches, and Rude told Warrior, he goes, "You're hurting me with them stomach kicks. You're hitting me in the sternum." And he goes, "I spit blood tonight a little bit in the bathroom when I came back from the match." He goes, "If you can't lighten up on them, don't do them." "Oh, okay, sorry. And the next night, he, you know, bam, bam, bam. Rick, we saw Rick spitting little bits of blood, so he was kicking him that hard that something, you know, ruptured inside. I have no idea what, but I remember it like yesterday. It was Topeka, Kansas, and Rick never had, you know, he wasn't much of a partier anyway, but he never drank before show. And me and Kurt Hennig and, you know, Kurt doing well, they were like best friends.
Oh, yeah,
I grew up in
yeah.
Robbinsdale, Minnesota, which is right outside, you know, of Minneapolis. Best friends, they always hung out. They were, you know, like me and Sean were sort of, like the Nasty Boys were sort of, you know, always together.
They were that close? Yeah.
Yeah. And they, what, oh, it's my hat. I'm lost. But anyway, Rick, we came into Topeka. It was a new arena, a nice big ass place. It wasn't the place where Topeka Patty used to give everybody blowjobs. It wasn't that arena, which I don't even know if that was a arena, it was a municipal auditorium or something. If it was full, it held 5,000 people. So, you know, it wasn't a
Smaller place.
Yeah. And, but it was never full. We got a half full once. Anyway, back to the building. We go in, we come in, and Rick's sitting over in the corner there early. You know, Rick usually got there on time. But rare time we got there early, and he's already there, and he's over in the back of the dressing room There's 2 beer cans. Like I said, he didn't really drink a lot. There's 2 beer cans right here, and he's got one in his hand. And we're like,
Yeah, this is Rude?
yeah, really.
Okay.
So we're like, something's weird here. What the fuck is he doing? Because he, like I said, even at night at the clubs and stuff, he'd have a beer or 2. He, you know, he wasn't big into partying. He didn't do any drugs or anything. I don't know about roids. You know, that part I don't know. But he didn't do any of the recreational shit. So it was before his match, before the show. We're like, you know, finally, you know, we got quiet. Like something's wrong. Something ain't right. And Rick noticed that we were kind of shying away from him because you don't want Rick mad at you, and you don't want to, you know, say something to him. Why are you drinking, man? It's before the show. You know, so we just kind of quiet and said, when he came over to us, it was me, Sean, and Kurt. And Kurt knew him better than anybody, and he goes, I don't know what's going on. This is not like Rick. And Rick came over and he said, Warrior, I've asked him 2 or 3 times to stop hurting me. And he said, and he keeps hurting me. Tonight, and it was a day show actually, he goes, today we're going to see who hurts. And we're like, oh shit, now that goes to the shoot, so it's just going to be a shoot.
Just so you know, we have about 2 minutes left.
Okay, I saw him wrap up. But so anyway, we go watch the match, and sure enough, when Warrior, as he was getting ready to do the spot where he's about to kick him, Rick drilled him in the chest. And Rick was a Golden Gloves boxer. He could box.
Oh, he had a boxing background.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He hit him in the chest so hard that we could see 40 feet back. You could see Warrior's eyes get like this, and went backwards. And then Rick married him, if y'all snapping in the rear chin lock, and we could see him talking to him. And Warrior, like when you're somebody's choking your ass out, it's a natural reaction to tap, like please stop, please stop. And we asked later, like, what happened in there? Rick said, he goes, well, I snapped at him and said, do you want to work or do you want to shoot? He said, Warrior said, work. And he goes, he didn't hurt me the rest of the match. And what topped it off was at the end, Rude was, where the finish was, Rude didn't win, but he was supposed to snatch the belt and like, nah, hell, you ain't getting it. And walk and run, and Warrior's going to chase him back to the dressing room. He got the belt and he walked. And Warrior come out to chase him, he just looked back and walked, and Warrior stopped. He wouldn't chase him. So yeah, that
Problem
was,
solved.
Yep.
And from there, it was smooth sailing
he
between
never
the
got
two.
potato. We call it potato when it's stiff. He never got Idaho'd again.
I'll say this as we wrap it up. Rude was one of the few guys that could get a decent match out of Warrior. One of the very few.
Honky Tonk used to say, he goes, God damn, it's killing me. You know how he talks real country. That motherfucker's killing me. It's all I can to make 5 minutes with his ass.
All right, wrestling fans, we're running out of time now. It was a pleasure to have you as we continue our series here on Thursday night's Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Don't forget the Patreon campaign is rolling along. You can help keep Wrestling Legends working. If you're with us live on Thursday night during the premiere, the Super Chat is active. Don't forget to tip the bartender for this great information, this great entertainment we give you.
Paramount.
And the Patreon campaign.
I got it right
For
down.
complete information, folks, the description box below on the YouTube channel will give you all the info you need. For Marty Jannetty, I'm Dan Marotti. We'll see you next week on Wrestling Insiders. Good night.
Yep.